Hi guys, today I'm acting as you not connected. Hey you, thank you so much for popping in. Today I am going to be acting as your relationship counselor because we're gonna be talking about long distance relationship or long distance marriage, whichever one you want to call it, because this girl went through it. She lived it. So as a relationship counselor, I'm going to be speaking from my own point of view so that you can know how myself and my husband survived our 5 years long distance relationship, to the glory of God. Hallelujah, somebody. And if you're new here, my name is Dupe. I'm a Nigerian living in Canada. And you know, someone said, talk about your long distance relationship. How did you guys do it? I'll tell you. Was it ghetto? Was it really ghetto? I wanted to say it was ghetto, but I think it was ghetto at some point. Number one, let me say, personally, I have no problem with long distance relationship. I think a part of me actually like it. A part of me love it. So I might as well say I do not actually have a problem with long distance relationship. Do you know why? Because I feel I've seen relationships and I think that it is kind of demanding, sort of, and I wasn't ready to give all of myself to relationship in such manner where you have to go to each other's house, you have to be seeing each other every day, you have to I don't know, I just felt like that life wasn't really for me. So being in a long distance relationship was kind of easy for me to do. While that is said, number one thing that people say, and say a lot, to survive a long distance relationship, you must not lack in communication. People say it a lot, but I don't think people actually understand the depth of this word, communication. It is not only about you talking to each other, it's about you always having genuine communication with each other and also creating space to have that communication. You guys might not believe it, but I'm telling you, for 5 years I can count the number of times or the number of days that went by that we did not talk. I can count it on my fingers like this, like maybe it's 5 days. For the most part of it, we spoke every single day, even if it was going to be just a 5-minute call. But the fact is, we must speak every single day. Highly important, very important. We must speak. That being said, my man was in the abroad. I was in Nigeria. He moved to Canada. There is 5 hours, 6 hours time difference. So you know, that is a thing. When he's awake, I am sleeping. When I'm sleeping, he's awake. There's that problem of time zone already. When the hour goes to 5 hours, it affects us. When it moves to 6 hours, it affects us. So there is practically no time that we do not feel the differences, we do not feel the changes that happens. But the thing is, we made it work. How? Create space to have that communication. He was in Canada and for him there was no problem of internet, but for me there was a problem of internet. So I had to make sure that I found myself internet all the time, almost all the time. So I have 2-3 networks. I think at some point I was just migrating from one service provider to the other. Whichever one that is working in this area, that is the one that I'm going to be using. Is it Glow that is good in this area? I have Glow SIM card. Is it MTN that is good in this area? I have MTN SIM card. Is it Airtel? Well, I can change my MTN to Airtel, change my Airtel to MTN. Wherever location that I find myself in, I make sure that I use the service provider that is working in that area. Keeping that communication is expensive, so I'm going to say that. So you also know that even if I cannot hit, if I don't have money to hit, I must have money for data. And also I must not complain about about how I spend data on communication. He hated it for me. He hated it. I would be the one saying, hey, 2 gigs ti fẹ́ tán o, hey, 10 gigs ti fẹ́ tán o, wàhálà dé mo ṣe load 5 gig ni ó tún ti tán. He didn't even want to hear it. He did not want to hear it. He did not want to hear it, because if I keep talking about I don't have data, then when do we have time to talk? And he was very supportive. At some point in time, he took over the data purchases. So every month, I know my data is there. So it's mandatory for me not to run out of data, because we must do WhatsApp call, we must do video call. We don't even do audio call, we don't text. Video call constant. If I'm going to receive his call, then I must always have my battery charged. Going to work, my phone will always be fully charged, and then I get home, I'll still have some charges on my phone. But there are times that on weekends where no lights, nothing. What did I do? I got myself power bank. I must have power bank fully charged for the weekend. Also, I got myself generator. I must have power. If I don't have fully charged battery and my power bank too is low, then I must look for petrol and put it in my generator, turn it on, charge my phone, so that I can always be in communication with my man. That's some efforts. I know we were so intentional with ourselves, so nothing must stand in the way of how we communicate with each other. That's why no matter where I went to in Nigeria, I was making sure that things were available for me to communicate with him, because we must communicate. We spend so many hours on phone. Sometimes we spend like 5 hours on phone if we both have the time. Let me also tell you, we pretty much were doing everything together. We were not living together, but we pretty much were doing everything together. Whenever I wakes up in the morning, he would call me. I also know where to expect his call. I know that he has waking up here. As I was saying, we pretty much lived our life together. We just leave the video on. We just keep talking, or even sleep, or even walk, cook. Everything we did it together. Sometimes he watch me sleep. Sometimes I do the same. We watch ourselves cook. We even go out together sometimes, you know, where we need to keep the phone away, we keep the phone away. But when we have the opportunity to still leave the video on, we leave it on. So we pretty much were doing everything together. Another thing is making time for each other. It is important to make time out for each other. When your partner just moved, understanding their schedule might be a little bit difficult. They themselves, you need to understand, be very much understanding. They themselves may not even understand their own schedule yet. They may be having difficulty in creating time for communication, in creating time to check up on you, and you yourself may not even know when to check up on them. But as time goes on, both of you will understand the rhythm of your life at some point in time. Then you can fix your life into all of those spaces. You understand, you pretty much have to create that time. The time won't just happen. You cannot always just pick your phone and call that person anymore. You need to make sure that you are calling at a time that you know that both of you are both available to receive the call. Understanding matters a lot. Understanding in the sense that you don't know what the person is going through over there. They don't know what is happening to you to over here. Just give yourself some level of understanding that it is not because they don't want to talk to you. It's just because their time isn't right yet for them to reach out to you. If you have someone abroad, you may be the one not calling them, not because you don't want to call them, but because you know their schedule is totally different from your own schedule. Like I said earlier, when you understand each other's schedule, you'll be able to fit your life into it. And the person abroad, there is no way they can be so busy. That was one thing my husband always say, and that was one thing that he did. No matter how busy he was, we still spoke every single day, even if it was for 5 minutes. Babe, I'm going to be so busy today. This and this and this and this is what's going to happen today. So I may not really have time to talk to you. The other person is not stupid, right? So you need to always let them know what is going on. If I'm not going to be available to receive his call when he wakes up, which used to be the time that he would normally call me, I would tell him beforehand that tomorrow morning, I'm going out, so I will not be available to receive your call. So I'll let him in on my schedule. They will also let me in on his schedule, so that we won't be like, You didn't call me yesterday. You didn't call me today. You didn't call me in the morning. What happened? I called you. You didn't pick your phone. All of that, you would have eliminated all of it if you carry each other along. Now that brings me to another point. I don't like talking. You people are making me to talk too much. Both of you are important and your feelings are valid. That is one point that I can emphasize over and over again. Like I said earlier, it would let me know what is going on with his life at that point in time, so that I will not have another thing in my mind and just be getting angry unnecessarily. So if someone is important to you, you definitely want to update them what is going on. Like, we consider ourselves as a team, so it makes sense if someone won't be available to do their job, to just let the team member know that this and this is what's going on at this point in time. Also, their feelings are valid. There's no way that you would be in a long distance relationship that you won't still have some things that may not go on well with you, that like some things that you pretty much have to talk about, some things that, some attitude that you've put up towards your partner and all of that. But there was one thing that we worked on, was openness and recognizing each other's feelings. So if I felt like I said something and I noticed his reaction, I apologize for whatever it is. Apologize. Then another thing is expressing yourself clearly. You cannot just decide to sulk or be angry and not tell the other person why you are angry. Even if you do it, at least don't let it linger. I am guilty of this. I'm going to tell you that because my personality is kind of somehow. If I am angry, something happened, I'm not just feeling it, I don't want to talk about it at that point in time. Doesn't mean that I'm going to keep malice with you, but I need to process it so that I can properly communicate to you and I understand exactly how I felt, what made me feel the way that I feel, why I felt that way. You understand? I can be able to communicate it to the other person. But for my husband is the one that just wants us to talk about it immediately. So that one is a thing that we tried to kind of balance. So somebody just gives me time. Truth is, I still have to come back and discuss it. So whatever it is that happens, no matter what it is, we still have to discuss it. So discuss your issues, express yourself the best way that you can. Don't mind if it's going to offend him or offend her. You must express yourself so that the person can understand you. There is one adage that Yoruba used to say, like, you don't fight the person that you don't see. You understand? Because you don't even know their own situation. You don't know what's going on with them. You don't know why they are reacting the way they are reacting. You don't know what caused the reason why they made you even feel angry in the first place. So instead of you fighting that person and saying you are fighting, you are not talking for 1 week, that is very unreasonable. You don't want to do that in a long distance relationship. Make sure that you process your thoughts. If you need time to process your thoughts, let the person know that you want to process your thoughts. At least that was what I did. I'll let him know I want to process my thoughts, and then I'm going to come back and we discuss this. It doesn't mean that we are not going to be talking. It's just that this discussion we are putting in on pending. We are pending it. Not that we won't talk about it or that we'll now go 1 or 2 days off without talking. We continue doing every other things, but this discussion we will come back to it. Then give yourself complete trust. 100% trust. People will be there telling the other person that you don't know what your baby is doing well. They don't recommend going back to Nigeria to marry someone. That man is enjoying himself over there. You are here waiting for one abroad guy. You better jare. All of all that kind of advice that people tell you, especially experiences that people have heard, not even the ones that happen to them, but the ones that they've heard that has happened to one girl, one friend of a friend of a friend that happened. You may start thinking, oh, maybe this might be your own reality too. But the thing is, you know your partner more than anybody else. You know if your partner will go and look for someone else there, especially we ladies. We know what our partner might do. What you know about your partner is what will keep you going in that long distance relationship. That was what kept us going. Because no matter the amount of things or the way they said it to me, I knew the kind of person that I was dating, and I was going to bank on that. It is me and him that know the reason why we decided that we were going to marry each other and we're going to, you know, do all of these sacrifices for each other. No matter what anybody says, we have focus. Heaven is the goal. So we pretty much just close our ears to outside noise and continue with our life. Now that brings me to appreciating each other. Guys, that is so important. The person in the abroad might think that yes, they are working, they are doing this, they are trying to make better life for the other person to come and join them and all of that. But the other person in your own country too is pretty much waiting on you to do whatever it is that you want to do and to have that opportunity to reunite with you for whatever it is that might cause the reason for the long distance relationship. The thing is, both of you are sacrificing for each other. No one is doing the most. When one of you start thinking that you're the one doing the most, you start creating internal problem for yourself, and that problem will start reflecting on your relationship, because there's no way you do it. You will take it out on the other person. So the point is, appreciate each other. Yes, somebody is in the code doing all of this. The person in Nigeria should appreciate that person. Yes, somebody is in Nigeria. The person in the abroad should appreciate that person waiting for him or her in Nigeria. At least that was what we were doing. We pretty much were appreciating each other so much. My husband would be like, babe, thanks so much. I really appreciate all of this. I appreciate that you're waiting. I appreciate this. And me too, I'll be like, babe, I know you are doing all of this for us. If not, why shouldn't we be together already? You know, we were appreciating each other. Everybody is important. Both of us, we are important. No matter the level of contribution we put into this relationship, we are all doing our best, and that best must be recognized. Appreciate each other. Also, openness. Be open. There is nothing like, no, I can't share this with my babe, I can't share this with my man. If the person doing most of the waiting doesn't really know what their future holds with this waiting, then to me that is pretty much unfair, because there's no way two people should be in a relationship and you will not carry each other along. So you need to be open. What are your plans? How is this person fitting into your plans? Are these plans enough for you to make this person wait for you? You understand? So be open, have communication, talk about things that people don't talk about. Those were the things that we were talking about. We pretty much discussed everything. We pretty much were talking about everything. So, I mean, if you don't take anything away from this video, you should take openness from it. If you don't want to take trust, that one is relative. You know the person that you are dating, so that one will determine if you should give them or your 100% complete trust and loyalty or not. And if you don't take anything, another one that I want you to remember is creating space to communicate daily. Daily communication, daily phone call, daily video call. Nothing should stop you. Be intentional about your communication with the person. Be intentional with your life and be open with your plans, especially for the person that they are waiting for. You need to be open and let the other person know this is what is going on. Because for a person like me, if you don't carry me along, now small me, I'm not interested again. Yeah, you need to carry me along. That was super important to me. Openness was one thing that we were not short of. Communication was one thing that was super important to us. Sometimes, you know, in Nigeria, whenever I spoke to any of his family members, and they'll be like, I'll be like, you people don't know anything. I speak to him in the morning, I speak to him in the afternoon, I speak to him at night. We were talking like we were actually living together. When we got married, then someone asked me, how does it feel being married? And I was like, it didn't feel any type of way, because we were pretty much doing everything together. When I moved here and I was asked that, how was it, you know, reuniting with your man and all of that? I was just, well, the only difference is that we are now living together. We are now living in the same space. So those were the things that I can actually think of right now from the top of my head. Again, if you did not take anything from this video, I said for the 5 years that we were away, we were not together, we spoke almost every single day. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in my next one. Bye.